Okay, well, I got a little sleep, so I took a little rest. Stella was sleeping. I have this huge pile like back here. I'm doing this big giant project, you know. I even got up, you know, with no sleep. I don't, what do you even call it? Got up when you haven't even been to bed. And last night it was so weird too. Like, this is what I wanted to kind of talk about, the weird stuff with the energy. And it's getting me so like, it is so hard to even know. Is it the chemicals? Is it the towers? Is it the Schumann resonance? Is it the collective energy? It's all these different things. What is causing all of this stuff? And so many people are having so many problems, you know, sickness, body problems, everything. So, you know, it's, everybody's going through it. But it's really hard to know where it's coming from. And so last night, oh, sorry, last night, so it seemed like, you know, just kind of regular old, you know, her whining and crying. And she wasn't really, I mean, she was limping a little bit, but now she's limping really, really bad, like both legs. Like, how do you limp on both legs? You're just like, So she's, and I just keep trying to get her to rest, because that's always what has helped her in the past, was the resting. But last night was an ordeal. So I went to bed. I was probably in there like 20 minutes or something. And she started yelping and screaming. So I jump up and I come out, and, you know. And I'm going to get a big rug to put down on my floor. These wood floors, there's nothing for traction, so she can't stand up. She needs to have something to hold on to push up, you know, because she's got to use her chest strength. But her paws keep going out from under her because this wood floor. I would never think I would say stupid wood floor, because I always think they're so much cleaner than rugs. But I'm going to have to get a rug. And I think I'm going to get a really thick pad to put under it, because she's having troubles just climbing onto her bed. And that's like this tall. And, but anyway, so she started crying. And so I jumped up, and it was one of those things where I just had fallen asleep. So I was really, really out of it. And that was for the whole night. And never, I was so out of it that I was like, I couldn't walk. I was falling around. I was knocking into things. And every single time I would lay down, she would start crying. And I came and I slept on the couch, or I was trying to sleep on the couch, but it was still the same thing. She just kept crying and crying and crying. And then she would try and move around. And then she starts doing this scurrying with her feet, just clack, 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 trying to push. She starts scooting across the floor. And it's like, oh my God, this is horrible. Like, what the fuck? I can't put somebody through this so they can stay here and be my companion. Like, oh my God, I was a wreck. I'm telling you, I was such a wreck. I was so out of it. I was so tired. And every time I would lay down, I had to take the battery out of the clock. I have this clock up there. It's like a pocket watch. And that's why I have it, because I think it's just a cool looking clock. But I guess we're still, you know, I still glance over all the time. A lot of times I glance over to see the numbers, because they're always talking to you in numbers. Like when they're talking to you in your head, which I'm seeing a lot more people are really tuning in and hearing, you know, they're picking up like, oh, you know, when I'm doing this, I get, you know, information into my head. It's like, that's the communication. It's when you relax your mind, you know, washing the dishes, anything where you just go mindless. You just start doing something, you just relax, and your brain just opens up, and right away they'll blah, 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 blah. And you'll start getting insights. And it's not like, when I say they're talking, I get actual talking, but it may not be like that. It can just be like what a download or something. You just, all of a sudden, you just have the information in your mind. And you're like, oh, I had never thought of that before. How interesting. Those kinds of things, those little like, oh, light bulb. Whoa, where'd that come from? That's the communication from the other side. So always give gratitude when they're trying to help you out. Do acknowledge them. That's important, I think, if you want to continue to have their assistance, which they're there to assist us. I mean, we're souls. Everybody here has forgotten so much about who and what they are. You know, it's mental. I'll say some more stuff about that. But anyways, so when we were out here, you know, and I laid down and the clock was, I could hear the tick, 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 tick. It was so loud. And it was like it transported me back to the days of being a nurse working the night shift and trying to lay down. You'd go into any old dark room you could find and find a couch on your break, and you'd lay down and be like, you try and get a 30, 45-minute nap in real quick. It was like desperate, especially around 3 a.m. But that's a hard part to get over when you're up. Like there's a certain part you can keep going and going, but once it gets to like 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like it's hard to push past that, really hard. And it lowers your, people who work night shift usually die much sooner. It messes with our circadian rhythms and stuff. It puts you all off. I was a mess back then. I was on all those pills. Had to take sleeping pills all the time. I mean, the one husband I had, the third one, he was a drug addict, like a serious drug addict. Supposedly he had stopped, a recovering addict, but as soon as he got with me, and then he thought he had all the money he wanted at his disposal, then he was right back on the drugs, man. Drinking and drugs and stuff like that. And I would say something to me, he would tell, oh, you're the biggest drug addict of all. Look at all those pills you take and stuff like that. And I kept thinking, what the wackadoo shit are you talking about? But now I look at it much different. I think, yeah, I was messing with I'm sure I wasn't normal all the time. I'm sure I was scattered all the time and stuff. I was a drug addict. I was on 18 fucking pills. And that included antidepressants, anti-anxiety. Like, they just pile you up till you're just a friggin' mess, but you have to want something more. It's all about wanting something more for yourself and seeing like, this is not working. And that's why so many people, it's hard to recognize, and they just keep going down, 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 down until they hit bottom. And some people, their bottom is so low. Some people don't even find their bottom. They transition out before they even find it. So, and it's all about awareness. It's all about tuning in to yourself, tuning into how you're feeling and all of those things, tuning into your body and all of that. So anyways, it was really weird. And I was laying there, and I was having these weird things with my body. And I kept laying there. I was getting so sick. Oh my gosh, this diarrhea thing. And I don't have, since I've healed and have gotten really stable in my diet, no medicine and all that stuff, I don't have GI problems. Like, I drink kombucha every day. I have a really good running gut, So when I started having this watery diarrhea thing, it brings me back to those days where I drank the faucet water and got E. coli. But I was like, okay, something is up. But it just keeps continuing. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And not being able to eat, just being super, super nauseous. And this, like when you're about to puke and you get those really hard burps in your chest, and it keeps doing that like you're about to puke. I was doing that all night. I was so nauseous. Everything in my body was hurting. I was so out of it. I was like stumbling around. She is having like a major thing happen. I'm like having this whole like, oh my God, having to face all of this stuff. Like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? I don't want to be the one who murders somebody. I don't want to be doing that. But how can you sit there and watch someone suffer? And so I'm having this, debate all night long going. And I emailed the doctors who came out. She's starting to cry. I emailed the doctors who had come for Winston, and they emailed me this morning, and they said they'd come out and stuff. And then this morning she did get up and walk and stuff. So then I was like, and she's not just crying nonstop. I don't know what tonight's going to be like. I'm just going to keep trying to take naps the whole time, because usually when she has these big inflammations or whatever, these episodes, they last a couple weeks. They don't. Will be kind of rough for a couple months, but she will get back to where she's just walking around and wanting to play and do stuff, She won't be doing this all the time, crying, and not be able to get up. So I'll probably have to go out and help her. So I'm not going to be able to take it very long. I wanted to talk about some more stuff. But anyways, I wanted to get that out there too about the weird physical things, because I'm hearing more people talk about it. And when I say things and people are talking about, oh, the Schumann resonance, oh, this and that, like, there's these CMEs today that were supposed to be hitting these coronal neural ejections from the sun that left a couple days ago, and they were supposed to hit today. And then this morning I had seen where it was going to possibly knock out all our power and stuff. So I was like, oh, I should probably say something, because who knows if the power goes out. You know, won't be able to talk. And tomorrow I'll probably try and record. I don't know what tonight's gonna be like. I don't, you know, who knows what any time is gonna be like. I seriously, last night, how I was feeling, I thought, this is it. Her and I must be transitioning. This must be it. We're leaving our bodies, because that's what it felt like. I really felt like something was really freaking out in my body, and I was super, but hers was too. I mean, she was, oh my gosh, she was so bad. And she's out there crying. I'm gonna have to go. But anyways, I do think that this awakening is really picking up steam. And you know, there's a lot of people about the CME thing too, or I mean about the CERN thing. So many, even my daughter sent me a message. She said, did you know about this CERN situation? See, all you got to do is, once somebody's mind is open, once they start questioning something, it's just like a floodgate opens up. You know, they start hearing conversations. This catches their ear, that catches, you know, people start talking. That's the whole thing. It's opening up the conversation. It's getting people talking, getting people to start looking around like, oh, I just saw a guy in Colorado say, you know, there's no animals. He said, usually I have all these baby squirrels, moose, deer, everything. And he goes, there's none. And he was blaming it on the towers. He's saying, I think something with the towers. But there's such a mix of things, because this is an attack on nature, and we're part of nature. So it's an attack on all of us. And, you know, and I did that video, and there's still no spiders. You know, there's no spiders in my house. Like, it's weird. Like, I usually have like so many spiders. Like, when my kids very first started coming here, they were like, oh my God, I can't come here, there's so many spiders. They were just scared, oh, spiders. And I had to really be like, the spider's not gonna hurt you. Like, think about it. Who wins in this battle? Who always loses the battle? Like, there's not very many spiders going around killing all of us, right? I mean, the odds are against them, so be kind. But, you know, my daughters are a lot more like that now. Like, the one daughter who was asking me about CERN, she was like, you know, she'll catch every spider at her house and go let them out. But I think a lot of stuff is being killed. You know, and the stuff that's out there, it seems kind of just weird. Like, they're all just kind of acting weird. And like I said, I'm seeing so many more hit on the roads than I've ever seen before. So, you know, it's just a war against us. But the people are waking up. You know, there is so much to this thing about these women. I've seen so much of the argument now with like all these Christian people. Like, this is turning I saw this young girl, and she's like, I hope you recognize this is really turning all these people against God. I mean, if you're listening to what they're saying. And so see how that works, pushing them towards science. Science isn't going to tell you what to do. Science will be there for you. And these people are not recognizing anything. And I literally saw somebody say, well, I would like that $4,000 to go on vacation. There would be people getting their asses knocked up to go on vacation. Like, this is... It is this system, it is greed, it is money, it brings out the worst in some of these people. Like, the people don't recognize their own evil, and it's so weird, but you have to answer to yourself. And when you don't even believe you have a soul, or you answer to anybody, so you know, they don't want to answer to anything. They want to see it just the way they want to see it. Now, I don't know. To me, the outrage and stuff that's going on in the streets is all of those women waking up. Oh, you want to take my rights? It's going to be a mass awakening in all of them, but it's all going to be different. It's not going to all be the same thing. I saw a girl today in a video. This broke my heart, because, you know, this whole stereotype thing, you know, and and we've all seen like tons and tons of women, you know, I would say, man, I mean, it's very versatile, but it really stands out when it starts being older women. And, you know, they've shaved their head. They got, you know, pink mohawk and piercings and stuff. Like, I have tattoos. Like, I get stared at. Believe me, people think I'm a weirdo. Like, oh, I went to the food bank the other day, you know, and when I went walking up, I was in a hurry. I was just all of a sudden, oh, I should just go now. And so I just grabbed my purse and I ran out the door. And so I just had a tank top on and a skirt. And so all my tattoos, you know, I'm going to go walking up and people don't mind staring. They don't care if you, like, you know what, if you're someplace and you catch someone staring and they look away, it's not like that. No. Once you have become something that people, there's a boundary that stops. Like, I will be stared down. Like, I think anybody could walk in a room with me and they're going to find that I'm the one being stared at. Like, people are just like amazed. Like, what is this freaking weirdo? Like, why do you have all that stuff on your body? Like, people just can't wrap their heads around it. And maybe it's just because I've got a brain injury and I don't look at life the same as you. Maybe I don't look at my body the same as you. Maybe I look at art. Maybe I wanted to decorate my avatar. So, you know, we're all different. We're all unique. So, you know, I don't know these different people. Like, I don't know what's in their heart and their soul and how they express. And there's tons and tons of people. Like, we got to remember, our soul is unique. It has no gender. We're coming in to play a game. We're playing a part. So a lot of people don't feel right in their bodies, which makes sense. But that's where we got to teach them. Oh, that's okay if you don't feel right. You're here to have an experience as this body, as this gender. That's what your experience is about. You know, it would change a lot for a lot of people to get them to understand that. So that, okay, yeah, I feel uncomfortable. Well, I'm usually a boy, but I'm playing a girl this time. You know, it's going to feel awkward. But, and, you know, a lot of people, if they've come from other places where, you know, I mean, you could come from a place where you were like a fish person, like all different things. So when we have these people expressing like, well, I'm not a human. Well, I'm not this. I'm not that. I think all of that has been a part of it, you know, of coming to the surface of like, hey, I'm not just this. I'm a lot more than this. Don't define me by these rules. So I've always taken a lot of this self-expression, you know, these weird, like, goth, like, so many piercings, this weird thing, or eye things, people cutting their tongues, like, all this weird stuff. Like, there's just like, oh, man, that seems extreme. But maybe where they come from is normal. Like, you know, where they've done a lot of incarnations or whatever, we don't know. Like, we're all here for an experience. We're not here to judge each other and set rules on each other. That's just the energy that they brought to the table here. So, anyways, when I saw her, so she had, you know, where like I think a lot of people would look at her and think, she's just some liberal dyke or something, yeah, with her, you know, crazy pink hair and you know, she wasn't. She looked boyish or whatever. It broke my heart. She's bawling her head off, and I have been crying so much today. And I don't think I was crying last night. Last night I just thought, oh, this is it. I'm leaving. Like, my body is saying goodbye. And but this morning, oh my God, I've been so emotional. Every freaking TikTok I watch, I'm just sitting there bawling my head off. So I'm bawling my head off through this one, and she was saying that she must have been downtown at the marches or whatever, and some guy came up to her and told her he couldn't wait till it was legal so he could murder her. You know, oh man, the darkness that lives inside of people and what they feel is acceptable. It's like, oh my God, you're so cut off from your soul. Like, how some of these people are going to be able to find their soul and face themselves. I think there is going to be a lot of people who are going to self-transition out of here, because it's going to be like hard awakening, very, very hard. And that is one reason why, you know, when my kids were really stuck and it was still in the liberal agenda and stuff, and I just kept dropping things, I was like, I don't care. They can call me crazy and stuff. I just know I just need to drop these seeds, because eventually these seeds will start being, what is that called? Ferminated? No, whatever, you know, start growing. And so I was, you know, I was kind of relentless, but I wasn't the same as I was in the beginning, where I was like, listen. Then I was like that. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Wake up. And then you know, once I started getting called racist and crazy and all that stuff, I was like, what in the hell is going on? And, but I still was going to keep saying stuff because I do think it is important for them to have that basis in there to open up, because I feel like there's just so many people that are so uninformed, and that is the whole problem. And that's why it's an information war. They want to keep us uninformed. They want to keep us hopeless and helpless. They do all this division all on purpose. They keep us sick. They use weapons of frequency and chemicals and gases, everything on us. They do it all. And I saw this other woman. She's a little older than me, I think, as her hair is total silver. And she's got this really cool face. God, she's got a cool face. She's got these very deep lines in it. And she's got this white hair, and her skin looks brown. I don't even know what color she is, really. But she has just the most interesting face. It's like, oh my gosh. Some of the most interesting faces that I have seen have the deepest lines, you know, like, I don't know, just when you see, like, when you travel around, I'm picturing some of these different people, you know, probably not caught up in, like, in America, I'm going to run and do a bunch of Botox all over my face, and I'm just going to age naturally. It becomes its own beautiful art project, the face, you know, when it just goes into its own, like, life. I don't know. Her face is just really, really cool. But so she was saying, the same thing as me. Like, you guys don't realize how, I mean, they control everything. And that's what I keep saying. These things where we have scams and stuff, every single thing that harasses us. Like, I feel sure that was a setup thing. Oh yeah, go work on that street. You know, put 100 people in a town of freaking 50 to work on a street, and let's block off all the roads, you know, because it's just to irritate people. They do that shit on purpose. The whole drive back, when they kept stopping the travelers every fucking 10 minutes for these stupid wet stripes. And we'd just sit there, our gas running and running, which another thing now too has been busted, that they have made less alcohol in the gas. So our gas is burning up way faster. You don't pay $10 a gallon and it's burned up in an hour. Like, just this stuff is just so corrupt. It's so criminal. But so many people see it now. Like, but it is coming. Like, I saw another girl, and she was saying, you know, everybody's talking about CERN and all the weird stuff that had happened before and what we're to expect that's about to happen. I saw another girl talking about that they probably, the whole thing about the 5th with the PSYOP, they're going to probably do it earlier. That was just to get us to stress and to get us, they always are turning us. They're always turning us over in this direction, that direction, always in the wrong direction. So there's a lot of stuff about that. So, I mean, anything could happen this weekend as far as I'm concerned. But the thing that is beautiful, because this one girl that I talk to all the time, and she's in Oregon. So she's not too far from me. But anyways, I have like a group on TikTok, and we all talk, and it's easier to interact on TikTok than on here. Sometimes I don't even get notifications of messages. So if somebody sends me a message, I may not even see it, which it's probably the same on TikTok, because I'll run across a message and I'll be like, I never saw this. I never saw a notification of this. And I'll have like 20 messages on this. I'll be like, where did these come from? So I don't know. These social media bullshit things they're just bullshit. And one thing too with TikTok, all these people, because a lot of people who are talking about things that are awakening things and spreading the truth, our accounts start growing really fast, where other people, you know, there's going to be a switch. I mean, there's a lot of just that empty, mindless. Oh, and I did see that lady. She was even on Access Hollywood they told her story. I didn't watch this thing. I just saw the ad that she was on it. So I guess she is pretty famous on TikTok. But 7 million followers for, you know, there's some woman who wants to talk about shoes and where to eat your lunch. You know, that's a lot of people interested in just stuff that doesn't really matter. Like, okay, maybe she did tell him, like, where to get a good deal, or make sure you get leather, or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't a follower. But some of the stuff where I've seen where I'll see some wackadoo, just mindless thing, and I'll go on and look, and they'll have this huge following. And then I'll look at other videos. Do they do anything that have any depth to it? No. But that's where people's minds are. Oh, I just want to be entertained real quick. Give me a little dance move here. And the girls who accommodate, I'm going to take off my clothes. And I see so many girls just always wanting to show their cleavage and show everything. And it is so much just about attention, this need. Somebody please give me attention. Somebody please make me feel better for a minute. I feel so shitty about myself and I'm hiding it. I have a lot of makeup on, so I look pretty, but I'm hiding the pain that's inside. And that is what we have to stop. We have to stop hiding the pain inside. We have to rise it to the surface. Stop living in the past. Stop living in this painful state of being. When you are holding resentment and anger towards other people, it's going to hurt your soul. It's going to beat you down. So you do the healing so that you can live your best life. It has nothing to do with the other person. It's for you. It's how you can start living and feeling good about yourself and accepting yourself, accepting others, loving yourself, loving others. It's just all part of the process. But anyway, so, we got people out there going up to complete strangers saying, I can't wait till I get a murder, yo. Like, I have said it. I've been telling my kids and telling my kids, do not go to any of these things. They're like, it's like they've got cheese on the trap. That's all it is, because none of it makes sense. I mean, the government says, hey, we can't make a ruling on this, so you guys can take it up with your states, which you have way more say over what happens in your state and community. So all these girls that can unify and, build the community that they want is all out there for them. But they're so angry. Someone's taking something away from them, they think, even though it's not. It's really, they're handing you a gift. This has been an illegal, like a whole bunch of different ones are coming out. Like, we can't do this, we can't do that. And I've heard people saying, well, this is because this is the separation. Now we're finally going to see where the court system is going to tell the government to fuck off and get out of our business. It's unconstitutional. They can't do that. There's a constitution that protects us to life and liberty and freedom. And they can't overstep that and use us as lab rats and then put it in a movie and think that we all are signed the contract. It's all just manipulation and gaslighting and bullshit. And I was watching this, so I can't even find anything to watch. But the other day, I just wanted to lay down and go to sleep. And I put on some movie. It was an old movie, really old. It had a bunch of people I recognized from when I was a kid. And it started out with all these people leaving church. I even did a little video. Oh, this is what it was like when I was growing up. Maybe we need to go back to this where people could, because even though I'm not a Christian, I mean, it's still, just talking about having a moral fiber helps you develop one. That's the problem. But so when I was watching it, and it just turned so dark. Oh my God. And there was like the 1950s. And it was so programmed. Oh my God. And then when you see the programming and we are there, what they were saying, it's disturbing. And so when I was watching it, I was like, every relationship is so dysfunctional in this movie. There was rape, there was alcoholism, there was every kind of abuse. Oh my God. It was, and I was like, what in the hell? And this wasn't it had like Joanne Woodward in it and stuff. Like, this was a legit movie that they put money into. And it was such dysfunctional relationships. And then I was just like, oh my God, this is so toxic. And then I turned on another movie yesterday and I started watching it. And it was, what was it? Because I watched it. Oh, it had Joaquin Phoenix, Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, and this other girl, I can't think of her name, but I really like her. But, it was called Two Lovers. And so he liked two girls. And he was kind of playing them both, trying to, but this was older too. This was like, I don't know, maybe 1998 or 2002 or something. And, but in the movie, it was the same thing. Such toxic relationships. And it just all of a sudden clicked. It just hit me. I was like, oh my God, this is why we have so many toxic relationships. People really did develop themselves based off characters. You go and you're in a situation, you're like, oh, what would my character do? Like, oh, I like, Jennifer Aniston was such a popular, Rachel, that girl off that show. So many people were mimicking her character. Like, people attach to a character and then they develop themselves to mimic that character, and then they go out and they behave in certain behaviors, right? Because that's what Rachel would do. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this has been this whole time creating these toxic relationships by design, by putting them into our minds in these movies and not giving us other more healthy ways to look at things. Everything has been headed in such a dark direction. And I totally see it, even though I'm not a devil, God kind of person, I totally see that energy, of being used and manufactured, and how it brings the darkness out. But this is the opportunity where people come in. It's like you go into, you go to a party and everybody is having orgies, maybe they bring a little baby appetizer out or something, any kind of weirdo, disturbing shit. And do you partake, or do you suddenly get sick and go, oh, I gotta go, I just gotta call, gotta go, I'm always that person who's like, I gotta go. I've ran out of apartments before, like literally ran, but that is what this whole life cycle has been about. Like, what is in you? Because you need to face it. What is there? Because you need to bring it to the surface. You need to release it. You need to heal it. And all of the darkness that has been being brought up, like that person, who knows? Maybe they're going to go murder some people because they think they're not feminine enough or something. I'm not sure. But if that's in somebody, like, you would look at another human being and think that, like, how do you think with your judgy way of looking at things that's acceptable? Like, everybody needs to be what you want. Is this your world now? We all need to be defined by you? Like, but anyways, all of this stuff, everything is about this awakening, and all of this, attack on people's rights is what's waking them up. Like, that's why we've had the conservatives were the first ones that started feeling the impact of what was happening, because it was pulling so far towards the darkness. They went to the party, the party became the whole room. Like, there was no escaping the party. And so people who were not in alignment with, like, pornography and just watching people be murdered all day on TV and stuff, or whatever, the different things where people start being like, this is weird. This is not my thing. This is not my life. This isn't what I want from life. What is this place? All of that kind of thing. But then they started getting attacked first. Like, they definitely went on their right. The more conservative, the more you wanted your rights, the more that you would feel the impact. So they were the first ones who were really outraged, and that's why there's so many of them, and that's why you see such this Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Everything is Jesus. Oh, I get so many comments. Oh, just pray to Jesus. Jesus is coming soon. Jesus. It's just like, well, we all believe what we got to believe. I don't believe that. I believe we got to do the work. We got to heal ourselves. And we've got to then help others learn how to heal themselves so that we can move into this new age and this new world, this new state of being. So I'm not going to sit back waiting for, somebody to show up and save me. I want to save myself. I don't want to be saved. I want to do the work. I want to heal. I don't want to just take the test and pass. I want to have it inside of me as a part of my structure, the healing that I have done for myself. And that's what people have got to get to. I had a guy yesterday who started telling me anything I say about the flat earth. You get these people who come in, you crazy, it's a globe, and they start trying to tell you, like, you're such an idiot, why don't you do some real research? It's like, dude, why don't you just try and go do some research and prove me wrong? And but anyways, he was telling me that I needed to go in and prove it to him. I needed to get the evidence and prove it. I was like, dude, this is a one-man show. This is you go out and you do your research. It's your path. It's your awakening. It's you have to look for what's going to wake you up. It's not, oh, here, I'm going to go waste all my time, show you a bunch of stuff. And then you go, oh, that's not true. That's not true. I'm not going to just sit here and do that with people all day long. So, but I was like, people are just so accustomed. They just want things easy. They want somebody else to hand it to them because we're so used to being indoctrinated and being programmed. But that's not, we're breaking free from that. This isn't indoctrination and program. This is where you actually have to go do the work. You have to actually, something isn't right. Let's look into that. That's what has to happen. And you can't just stop at like, oh, something's not right. I'm going to check with Snopes and CNN. I'm going to go look and see what Fox has to say about this. No, you have to actually go in and look stuff up. Go listen to, like, I'm like the documentary queen. My kids were always like, Mom, you got to quit watching documentaries. You know, anybody can make one. You know, it doesn't mean everything's true just because it's in a documentary. I'm like, yeah, but watch them and see like what they're telling you and showing you. I'm not just believing something. I'm being shown something. Like it always is, whatever I'm seeing, whatever your guides bring you to watch, they will start telling you and showing you things too. And I just saw another girl saying that too. She said, it's really weird because like the same thing I'm saying, you know, they'll bring you something and they'll just, oh, here, get that, you know, and you'll just get a whole bunch of stuff. Like they have a process. Everybody's guides has a process, but not everybody, you know, gets caught up in living in pain and suffering and drama, contempt, chaos. It's just, you know, it's all part of the thing, but it's where you have to hit your bottom and want more. You have to desire better for your life, and it all comes from doing your own healing. You can't fix everybody. That's where things got all out of sync, out of balance, where nobody's like, oh, you hurt my feelings. You hurt my feelings. Everybody's, oh, my feelings. Well, you know, and I kept thinking, like, maybe your feelings are a little raw. Like, maybe you got to, you know, try and not let anyone hurt your feelings so easily. But that is that whole thing. My stomach's growling like crap. I seriously can't even eat. I feel so sick. But that is the, what was I saying? That is, well, I think I've beat a dead horse at this point. I think I've made my point. But everything is, you know, all about the healing. It's all of a shift of your, not just your perspective, but what you actually pay attention to. There's just so many people living in the past, living in tomorrow, worrying about this or living about what happened back then and not at all in the present, not at all in their moment, in touch with their guides, working on themselves. Because all of this stuff is all for that. All of these riots and all of the stuff that people are out there being outraged about, it's all part of this awakening. And you know, I think it is going to be a lot more people, you know, when all of a sudden that just clicked in about, oh, they're all down there and they're all outraged and they're all like, some of the stuff they say is just so disturbing. Like they do not have any respect for life. They don't have any respect for spirit. They don't have any respect for anything that is, I don't even know, not science or artificial or something. Like, because these are the same people who, you know, would come up and scream and yell at you if you didn't have one of these on, you know, telling us all that we better do this. And now they're out there, you know, whining and crying because somebody says you have to keep a baby inside of you. If you go play the game, you're going to keep it in there until it comes out. Then if you want to give it away, give it to somebody who wants it. But, you know, but no matter what, you know, some of their arguments, oh, well, medical emergency. Now you can't even, they're going to just let women die. That's bullshit. I mean, this current, that's part of the agenda right now is just kill us all off. So hell yeah, they probably would. Just, oh, well, she's dead. Another one, got another one. Go fire up the jeller. I'm gonna gel her, go spray her out. This world is just disturbing, so disturbing. But it is hell. It is why there is this really dark stuff that can be here. These purge characters, these perverts, all this stuff, they don't really want to just live their lives and be free and go out and just experience this planet, all these people, everybody has to do what they want and be the way they want and don't say it if they don't like it and stuff like that. It's like everybody's got some healing to do. That's what we got to do. We got to do some healing, get yourself in balance, and don't be so raw. Don't let other people, strangers, hurt your feelings like that. Who cares what that person thinks? They have they're not even in your orbit. You're never even going to see them again. Social media has created such bully mentality, but that's the same thing. These people just, they just play in that dark energy. So many people just playing in that dark energy and have no idea. They're sitting there playing in a cesspool of tar. They have no idea that they're going to get out of it. All of a sudden the lights come on and they're going to see, like, I'm covered with this shit. And they're standing in the mouth of the beast. So, because that was what I was going to say too, that one girl, the one I was talking about, the Oregon one that I talked to on TikTok, she was saying that, she thinks that's the day that everything's going to switch and we're going to, the money and everything. So, that's what I'm going to definitely be putting my energy towards, because that's the whole thing is we're moving towards, is that Jubilee, this time of freedom. It's time for humans to get to live and experience. It's a new age. It's a new time. It's, a new experience. And anyways, I don't even know what the hell. Just keep talking and talking. So anyways, tomorrow, if we do have power, like I haven't had anything, but there could be other places. I don't know where these coronal mass things we're going to be hitting. I don't know when they shoot out. Like, I don't think it just penetrates the whole thing. So there could be a lot of people who lost power and stuff. And who knows, things to me just get weirder and weirder and weirder. Like, I would not at all be surprised if I all of a sudden look over and see my body laying on the couch and I'm no longer in it. I won't be surprised at all. That's how weird things feel to me. So anyways, just if the power is on and, I can handle it, I'll record tomorrow, but then, and probably Friday because they won't be here. It depends on when they get here. It will be way too crowded. So for those days, and that will be the days that turn on CERN. So everybody just, pay attention to the weird stuff and just, I don't even know, like, just remember you are an eternal being and you came here for this experience. No matter how weird and scary shit gets, that you're a warrior and you came here for this. And, don't get intimidated or scared or be fearful. Remember who you are, remember why you're here, and everything's going to be fine. It's just horrible to get there. So anyways, I don't know. You could be expecting big stuff this weekend. I am always like, please. It's today when the planes are flying over and they're so low and it's so loud. It's just like, oh my God, just bomb us already. Just fucking drop a missile on us. Get it over with. This is fucking ridiculous. And one thing though I did notice, because when I was in Spokane the last time, in all of the planes, I kept telling people, I was like, don't you guys think the planes are lower? Like, the planes are really low. And then my one daughter's just like, well, we're by the airport. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think they fly that low all over the place over Spokane. It's not like they're circling low all over. I was like, I don't know. It seems weird. And then when I went to my mom's, it was the same thing. The planes were super low and so loud, so much louder. And then somebody did say, like, I did notice that it was really loud. I just thought that it was always that loud, and I just didn't realize. I don't know. I think something with this atmosphere they're created, or is the actual firmament closing in on us? And that's going to be the explosion. Are they going to explode it with this collider? You know? But there definitely is something weird, because planes definitely seem much lower and much louder. And when these planes fly over, it's crazy how loud they are. And it is really, it's very intimidating. And I know I still have this past life with that, where I was in this war as a fighter pilot, and it just brings up this like super anxious feeling when I hear him, like, ooh, this is it. This is it. This is it. So anyways, who knows? I know if I all of a sudden get up and I look back and my body's laying there, I don't want to be sucked back in. Get the hell out of here. So, well, I say that. I want the hell out of here. Really, I just want the hell past this part. I'm really just burnt out. I'm burnt out on pain and suffering. I'm burnt out on watching people struggle. I'm burnt out on watching them kill nature. I'm burnt out on feeling sick, you know? So, anyways, I'll talk to you probably tomorrow. But if I don't, you know, and I don't say anything, then I would say just assume that it is because there is no power here or something weird going on. And then when I can, I will start recording again. But I'm really expecting that some weird shit to be going, because I feel like it's already started. So I'm expecting some weird shit to just keep picking up. And just everything, no matter how dark it gets, is we will do that turn. That shift will happen. We will be going the other direction. And I really like that one girl was saying that's what's going to happen with CERN, because I hope so. I hope that whatever they do, when they open up their black hole, they all get sucked in, and it changes the whole world for us. They take the evil with them and go put them in some other place. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.